What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today's video is going to be a little bit of a Madden experiment, if you will, in regards to the 2023 NFL Draft. The Carolina Panthers have traded up with the Chicago Bears to have the #1 overall selection, with all eyes on them drafting a quarterback. But which quarterback is going to be the right option? According to Vegas, CJ Stroud is the odds-on favorite to be the first overall pick. If you ask a lot of draft nerds like myself, Bryce Young is the best quarterback in this year's draft class. Or you always have the ever-present wild card of drafting Anthony Richardson, freak of nature, one-of-one type prospect with the highest ceiling regardless of position in the 2023 NFL Draft. So a lot of questioning, a lot of unknowns and variables are applied to what quarterback the Carolina Panthers are going to draft with the first overall pick. What I want to do here today is run through 3 different one-year simulations of each one of those rookie quarterbacks. We're going to see what the Panthers look like after 1 year with CJ Stroud. We're going to see what the Panthers look like after 1 year with Bryce Young. We're going to see what they look like after 1 year with Anthony Richardson. I don't really know if we need to do Will Levis or not. I'm not. Fuck that. Will Levis, no. But we're going to go Stroud, Young, and Richardson, and we're going to just kind of see, as it relates to Madden, all playing in the same playbook, which one of these quarterbacks is the ideal fit for the Carolina Panthers. So for all 3 of our quarterbacks, we're going to give them the updated Carolina Panthers team. They haven't really done much on the defensive side of the ball, but the offensive side of the ball, they brought in a brand new tight end in Hayden Hurst. You got height, weight, speed personified in DJ Chark on the outside. Adam Thielen jumps over from the Minnesota Vikings after a very, very solid career there, and he's going to be an easy safety net target for our brand new quarterback. And they went and upgraded the run game, bringing Miles Sanders over from the Philadelphia Eagles. So that should be a big help, taking some pressure off the shoulders of our rookie quarterback. Well, without further ado, we're going to start with the first simulation, which is us drafting the Vegas favorite, CJ Stroud. So let's take a look at CJ Stroud. Kind of go through my scouting report on my Patreon for my quarterback rankings. My pro comparison for him was Deshaun Watson. He's a good athlete, good arm, inconsistent, and there's always the worry. You scout the player, not the team, but Ohio State quarterbacks do have a certain, he threw to pretty much first-round wide receivers his whole career. Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, who else, it's just truly absurd, the amount of talent. So, that's always going to be something you're going to kind of knock around him, is that he's had the best wide receiver room in his country. And that is a fair criticism, because there were still games where it's it's fitting he's a field general archetype. Let's just say that, right? Because I think he just operated an outstanding offense. So, when he goes to a team like Carolina, where they're not going to have the best wide receiver, they're not going to have the equivalent of the Ohio State wide receiver room in the NFL, there's some concern, but he definitely has a lot of franchise quarterback traits. Let's see how well he succeeds here in his rookie season with the Panthers. And then sim me out the remainder of the draft. I'm going to do that every time. I want to see, just out of curiosity, what does the computer draft for us every single season? Hey, we got Quentin Johnston, speedster wide receiver out of TCU. That's actually a good get for the makeup of our roster. We got Deuce Vaughn to come in and be RB2 behind Miles Sanders. But CJ Stroud is a 77 overall hit-to-dev quarterback, field general, scheme fit, 90 throw power. See what he can do. Number 21 ranked quarterback in the NFL right out the gate as a rookie. At the midway point of our CJ Stroud season, 6-1. The Panthers are running away with the NFC South. I did not expect this. CJ Stroud, we'll round both those up. He's playing almost like a top 10 quarterback. 1,800 yards, 13 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Protecting the football has been a top priority. Miles Sanders is playing well. DJ Chark is our leading receiver. Thielen's been solid. Okay, not a bad start. Let's finish it out strong. At the end of year 1 for CJ Stroud, he has definitely set the pace for all the other quarterbacks that need to follow. 13-4, first place in the NFC South. We're going to sim through this playoff run. Made the playoffs. Was not expecting that. 4,600 yards passing, 30 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. So the interceptions did pick up a little bit in the second half of the season, but again, he's a rookie quarterback. That's still pretty good. We got 100 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown. We let Miles Sanders, Jesus, Miles Sanders do the damn thing. Imagine that. 34 rushing touchdowns from your 2 starting running backs. That is ridiculous. Adam Thielen, our lone receiver, going over 1,000 yards, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. A good chemistry between the two as expected. We previewed that that Thielen was going to be kind of your safety net for the rookie quarterback and will be for all of our rookie quarterbacks. First round of the playoffs, we're taking on the Washington Commanders, where we handle business 38-22. We have to run through the NFC East here in this playoff run, meeting Dallas in the second round, but 38 points in our first playoff game. Very good. Able to rely on the run game. Not the best performance from CJ Stroud, 260 yards passing, 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions, but we were able to rely on a very good run game. Hayden Hurst, the new tight end, with over 100 yards. Defense did their part. Oh, yeah, they did. A lot of sacks, a lot of pressure on whoever the hell the quarterback is for the Commanders. And now we're into the division round, taking on a cheat code of sorts in the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys. 11-6. Let's go, man. If CJ, whoever can trump the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, my God, what? 41-35. I think we're about to peak here, fellas. I don't think any of these other quarterbacks are going to stack up to what we're seeing here. CJ Stroud, 500 yards, 5 touchdowns in this game. DJ Chark went for 12 catches, 207 yards, 4 receiving touchdowns as the Carolina Panthers punch their ticket to the NFC Championship game where they take on their bitter divisional rival, the 82 overall New Orleans Saints. Super Bowl on the line, and we are in... I'm not forcing... I'm doing this live. We are winning, and in the Super Bowl, 21-14, and CJ Stroud play. Okay, the pressure is on. If we can win a Super Bowl in year 1 with CJ Stroud, I think that's going to answer the question, at least as it relates for this little Madden experiment as to which quarterback Carolina should draft. Let's take down the Ravens. I did not expect this to happen. Thought maybe if this was going to happen, it would be because we have Anthony Richardson, and he was just like an unstoppable cheat code because his skill set. But here we are. First score goes to Baltimore. Look at that. We went for it on 4th down. Gutsy with a rookie quarterback is what it is. 7-7, 14-7 Carolina. I did not think the Panthers had this in this. Turnover from Baltimore, 21-7. Oh my God, we were about to win the Super Bowl with a rookie CJ Stroud. All right, couldn't have planned this any better. Honestly, actually, I could have. This could have been the third simulation, so we end the video on a high note. Except now, we're going to have to just see the pace has been set, and somehow, someway, CJ Stroud was the winning combination under center. He's Super Bowl MVP. 281 yards, 4 touchdowns. CJ Stroud, S tier with the Carolina Panthers. Historic with the Carolina Panthers. And Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson for the remainder of this rebuild have massive, massive shoes to fill to see if they can end up being the best option. Like, I don't even know how you beat this. How do you beat this? Because even if they somehow go on and win a Super Bowl, if we can win a Super Bowl with Bryce Young, if we can win a Super Bowl with Anthony Richardson, are they going to play as well as CJ Stroud? He got 4 touchdowns in the Super Bowl and had a 500-yard, 5-touchdown game against the Cowboys earlier in the playoff run. Just ridiculous. Truly ridiculous from CJ Stroud. It's time to run it back with our next quarterback. The quarterback, in my opinion, who is the top quarterback in this year's draft class, and that is the diminutive-sized Bryce Young out of Alabama. Sure, he's probably not 6 feet tall. Sure, he's probably lighter than 194 pounds. But what he has between the ears is unmatched in this year's quarterback class. According to my Patreon scouting draft rankings, my pro comparison for Bryce Young is Drew Brees. He's the easy quarterback one for me in this draft class. Size concerns don't worry me one bit. Never had size concerns at Alabama. And while he's not athletically gifted as Kyler Murray, he has a similar style of like escapability within the pocket, which is going to limit the amount of damage that he takes. I think his decision making, his accuracy, and anticipation is the best in this year's draft class. But just, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to match what CJ Stroud just did. But if anyone can, it might be Bryce Young. Like the first run, we just simmed the entire draft and a lot of similar players. We ended up with Deuce Vaughn, but instead of Johnston, we got JSN. Somehow, incredibly, Jackson Smith-Njigba, the clear wide receiver 1 in this draft, fell to us with the first pick in the second round. I ain't complaining. Okay, so the Panthers are super cheesy in the sim now, apparently. Midway point of Bryce Young's turn with the Panthers, and we have a better record than what the Panthers had with CJ Stroud as our quarterback under center. Looking at the stats here, Bryce Young, 25th in yards. We're running the ball, but he's top 5 in passing touchdowns right now. 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns to 4 picks. Miles Sanders is crushing it. He's going to probably be the freaking MVP. JSN is our leading receiver absurd value in the second round. Let's finish the season out strong. Can we continue? Can we go undefeated? Maybe. We're just saying, how can we beat and cap what CJ Stroud did? A 17-0 season would be a great start for Bryce Young. We finished the Bryce Young simulation with the exact same record that we hit with CJ Stroud. 13-4 in NFC South title for the Carolina Panthers. Where was this, dude, when I was the Panthers? Bryce Young, statistically speaking, maybe a little off the mark of what we did with CJ Stroud. 3,900 yards passing, 31 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Miles Sanders was outstanding. Our rushing offense was outstanding. DJ Chark was our leading receiver. So a little bit different. Like first run, it was Adam Thielen and CJ Stroud had their chemistry. And I thought maybe JSN could have really finished as our wide receiver one, but it's DJ Chark going over 1,000 yards. Miles Sanders just playing like mini Christian McCaffrey out here. But we have a first round bye, and Bryce Young has an opportunity to equal CJ Stroud's Super Bowl victory in year one. All right, let's go on this journey together. First up is Adam Thielen's former team, the 9-8 Minnesota Vikings. Let's not be one and done. Let's at least have a chance at trying to, trying to close into the gap that CJ Stroud set as our pace car. But in the first matchup of our playoff run, after earning and busting our ass for the first round bye, one and done, losing 27-24 to the Minnesota Vikings in a matchup where, I mean, both quarterbacks played solid. There was the lone turnover for Bryce Young, could have been the difference maker in this close matchup. Damn. All right, well, Anthony Richardson time. And what would be the ballsiest move to trade up to the first overall pick? To give up DJ Moore would be to draft Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is my quarterback 2 this season. I do have him minimally higher than CJ Stroud. Draft grades, I gave Anthony Richardson an 86. I gave CJ Stroud an 86. But it's a 1A, 1B, or 2A, 2B because Bryce Young's number 1. And I decided to put Anthony Richardson ahead because of the ceiling. My pro comparison from him was more so on the athletic side, and that was Dante Culpepper, both just S-tier athletes at the quarterback position with cannons of an arm. The ceiling is there, and hiring Frank Reich kind of goes in the direction of like, well, if you got to have a guy that has a lot of success, proven track record, what he did with Carson Wentz and brought the best out of Carson Wentz, got him playing. If you got Carson Wentz, now knowing what we know about Carson Wentz, injuries aside, to play like an MVP favorite, imagine what he could reach with Anthony Richardson. I just think highest ceiling player in this year's draft class, true superstar potential, and I think at worst, if Anthony Richardson sucks, if Anthony Richardson can't pan out, you're still getting like what the Bears have right now in Justin Fields as your quarterback, a dynamic weapon. But we're not even going to think about that. I think Anthony Richardson is a very coachable player who will thrive in the right environment. He has everything you can't teach an elite prospect. And I think if he can develop, hit the development buzz like Josh Allen did in Buffalo or like Jalen Hurts did in Philadelphia, it's almost going to be a wash. He is going to be the best quarterback in this draft class. Also fair to realize that he has the biggest bust potential out of the top 3 quarterbacks. But Frank Reich, knowing how he can develop quarterbacks, I wouldn't be shocked if this actually happened. And I actually think it'd be awesome. It'd be from a neutral standpoint, seeing the Panthers be so aggressive to go get a project-type quarterback. Looking at our draft recap, so we're definitely following a formula here in our mock draft. We're getting, I think we've had like this 4 to kind of finish the draft like every year. And we went back to what we drafted in year 1 with CJ Stroud. We're bringing in the TCU speedster, Quentin Johnston at wide receiver. Midway point for Anthony Richardson, still good. Might not be as good as the other 2 quarterbacks, but 5-2 at this point, still leading the division. I'm optimistic we're going to finish strong. And look at the stats, though. Anthony Richardson, 2nd in passing yards, 1st in touchdowns. So far and away, the best production out of any of the quarterbacks at the midway point. 2,200 yards passing, 22 touchdowns to 4 picks. Frank Reich has his Frankenstein. He has been able to rewire Anthony Richardson to hit the ground running, and he is already in full form. And we're not even maximizing his dual threat ability at 240 pounds, be able to run whatever the hell he can run, man. 4.4, S tier, built in the lab. Adam Thielen, I mean, all these guys are actually playing and thriving really, really well. Interesting to see this is the first time Laviska Shenault has kind of popped off a little bit in this rebuild scenario, if you will. But my God, Anthony Richardson, he's on pace for like 40-some tutties. And we finished with an 11-6 record, so the wins not exactly the same as we saw with CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, but the result still is we're first place in the division and we got a first round bye. So luckily, record-wise, you know, the rest of the NFC wasn't particularly good this season. Anthony Richardson, far and away, the best stats we've had out of all three scenarios. 4,800 yards passing, 43 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Absolute ridiculousness. Miles Sanders with very good season on the receiving end. Adam Thielen, 87 catches, 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. Solid years that everyone else. Vicious Chenault, 12. That's why we did this, man. I wasn't too worried about the playbook. I thought we would get, because all these quarterbacks stylistically are different, we would get a lot of different numbers, a lot of different performances, and every single player, Richardson, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, has offered something different to this Panthers team. But as it stands right now, CJ Stroud is the one that we're chasing because he won a Super Bowl and dominated on his way to a Super Bowl. Let's get it. Not the best role in the first round to take on the cheat code in the NFC because their playbook's just so damn good in the Dallas Cowboys. But if anyone, yeah, I was gonna say if anyone could do it, maybe it's Anthony Richardson. But fortunately, we ran to the cheat code, ran the stupid, boring shit Cowboy sim team, and we got the wrong end of the stick there. Because yeah, like Dallas wins playoff games, that doesn't happen. So the only way that does happen is in Madden. CJ Stroud wins, I guess, right? I think you could look at all of the quarterback performances. And, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about Super Bowls. I mean, from a statistical standpoint, maybe you could be incredibly intrigued and excited about what Anthony Richardson could do under the tutelage of Frank Reich. From a production standpoint, he's playing like a... Did he win the MVP? No, none of the other quarterback sims have even, like, remotely been in, like, MVP conversation. Look at that. MVP shortlist, anyway. 76 overall. Probably should have been higher. Didn't even maximize his scrambling ability. But, I don't know. This just couldn't have gone any better. Anthony Richardson playing like a monster. CJ Stroud doing what he did. Bryce Young was solid. So I guess in closing, I know because the Panthers were our main channel franchise here in Madden 23, we get a lot of Carolina Panther fans that support the channel this year. Who do you want? Let me know in the comment section below. Who do you think should be the quarterback the Carolina Panthers select at first overall? Is it going to be CJ Stroud? Is it going to be Bryce Young? They shock the world and go with Anthony Richardson. Let me know what you think. But in relation to Madden, all of them look pretty good as rookies. All of them are excellent options as rookies. And if you want to go with the better stat quarterback, maybe Anthony Richardson is your guy. But if you want the guy that can bring you a Super Bowl, at least in the eyes of Madden, that is CJ Stroud. That'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya, have a good one.